Hey guys, today I want to share with you some of the resources I use for homeschooling with my preschooler. So Julie from Mom to 4 recently did a video about the resources that she uses with her preschool age child for homeschooling, and I thought that was such a great idea, so I told her that I was going to copy her idea and share with you guys today some of the resources that we use for homeschool with preschool age children. My son just turned 4, and I've just been starting to incorporate him more and more into our school morning because he always asks, "Mommy, can I do school?" And I'm like, "Of course, come on up." And you know, our school environment in our family is kind of like a one-room schoolhouse. You know, I'm teaching the information. If the kids are there, we're all learning together. No matter what age you are, you can still be included and participate on at your own level, whatever developmental level you're at. So these are some of the things that I use for my son who's 4, and some of them I even use for my daughter who's almost 2. You know, she might not understand them as much, but she still loves to play with them. And you know, learning is playing sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple things I have behind. So a great thing to teach your preschooler is their alphabet letters. So just letter recognition. They don't need to know all the short sounds, all the long sounds for every letter, but just recognizing what the letter's name is. And so these are some letters I made a couple years ago when I only had one child, but they're just fabric letters. And so I might hold this up and say, "Oh, what's this letter called?" And he might say, "Y." "Oh, good job." And then maybe we'll do a little dance or make an animal sound, or sometimes I'll have him run back and forth and put each letter back in the bucket after he tells me what name it is. And so that's good because it lets him burn off some energy, and he's still learning what the letter's called and having fun at the same time. We have this puzzle by Melissa and Doug, and it's just a wooden peg, like a peg puzzle. Underneath each letter is a picture of something that starts with that letter. So they might say, "This is P." "Oh, that's right, and pear starts with P." And then, you know, they can take all of these out, and then we can put them back together and just talk about the letter's name. And then once they know the letter's name, then we can start talking about, "Oh yes, and that letter says, you know, P or T," whatever it might be. This is by, I think, Hap is how you pronounce it, H-A-P-E, Hap. And this is a wooden puzzle as well. And I love that these letters are like 3D, and they can stand up on a table. They're flat and they're really thick and bright colors. So I really like this puzzle. It's really good quality. And so this too, there's no picture, but the letters are really durable. So that's going to be a great puzzle for years to come. Julie mentioned these dry erase books in her video as well, but we have 2 of them, and they are really nice. You can use either a dry erase marker, or Crayola even makes some dry erase crayons, and you just use like a damp paper towel, and they don't smear as badly. If their little hand gets on it, it doesn't make a big mess, but they do wash off really easily with the water. And so each book just has different things with filling in letters, tracing numbers. They have like puzzles, mazes, things like that, identifying colors. So they just have a nice variety of activities. So you might just pick one page and say, "Let's do this page together," and talk about whatever skill it is that you're working on for that day. So these are great books. I think I found these on Amazon, and both my kids like playing with these, my 6-year-old and my 4-year-old. Every school year before school starts, I always walk the Target dollar aisle and pick up some school supplies, because they always have like resources for teachers, and usually they have some really cheap like workbooks. And I don't love doing a lot of worksheets, that's just not my thing, but my son will sit and do maybe one worksheet and be really interested and have a great time, and as long as he's having fun, then I'm glad for him to do it. But lately we've been going through this math worksheet here, and some skills you can do in math are talking about shapes, tracing numbers, talking about what's big, what's small, talking about measuring, you know, how long is this object. So this has really simple worksheets that are double-sided, and we just tear one out, and then they have little stickers. When he does a good job, he gets a little sticker. So These are really great. This one's math, and then we have a couple, let's see, 2 of them are about alphabet, and this one's about reading readiness. I haven't even looked through this one. We also have this set of puzzle cards. So for instance, here is number 2, and it has 2 ducklings. So you can take out, you know, maybe 10 different cards at a time and break them in half, mix it up, and then try to match them back to their correct match. So these are really fun. There's all the alphabet letters and all numbers, I think numbers 1 through 20 or 0 through 20 in this set, and that's a really durable, like the cardboard's really sturdy. I don't know where I picked these up. I don't think I bought it online. I think I might have snatched it up in a bookstore or something when I saw it. I'm always on the lookout for fun educational things. Another thing when you're doing preschool with your toddler is to just talk about counting. So having them count from 0 or 1 to 10 is sufficient. I mean, they don't need to count to 1,000 or 100 when they're in preschool. So just focus on counting from 1 to 10. And we already had this clock in our home, and so I'll just use the numbers from it, just 1 through 10, or for this case it goes to 12, and just take them all out and scramble them up, and we try to put them in order. We talk about, oh, this is the number 1 and this is the number 5 and things like that. You know, and 6 and 9 are a little tricky, but you know, they just get the idea of number recognition, and then they already have a foundation for math, some early math skills before they start kindergarten. I have a variety of these dollar store shoe boxes on our bookshelf, and I just put a simple label on them, and they each have a different activity in them. So this one has different kinds of magnets. One of the things we have is different shape magnets, and it comes with these little cards, and you can make different pictures with each of the combining the different shapes to make these different pictures, which is really fun. And anything with cars and trucks and airplanes, my son is all over, so he enjoys doing that with the shapes. I also have numbers, which we haven't used a ton, but it's nice to have, and then alphabet letters, which again are nice for letter recognition and for even teaching them how to spell their name. For example, if your child's name is John, you could pull out the name John and talk about, oh, this is a capital J because it's your name, and then you can scramble it all up and then, you know, tell your child, oh, can we try to spell your name? And he can say, oh, well, my name starts with a J, and then you can try to spell it together, and just practice that every once in a while till they're familiar with what their name looks like and how to spell their name. These are some counting bears that we bought a few years ago, and these are really fun. They have different bear cards that come with the set, and each card has a pattern. And so some patterns are pretty easy, where it's just, you know, yellow, red, yellow, red. Other patterns are more complex. And then your bears that are included in the set come in, I think, 5 or 6 different colors. And then you also have different sized bears. We have the daddy bear, the mama bear, and the baby bear. And so some of the cards will have bears of various sizes as well. And so in preschool, you can use these bears. Let me hold them up, see if I can see them. So in preschool, you can use these bears to talk about sorting things by color, or sorting things by size. So large, medium, small, and things like that. And then of course using these cards that are included to talk about patterns and creating patterns. I also have a box full of flashcards. I think I picked some up from the dollar store as well as Target in the dollar section, and just having a variety of different flashcards. So for my preschooler, when he was probably like 2 or 3, we would just go through some of these cards, and they just have little pictures on it. Oh, what's this? And they might say cup, and I would say, that's right, that's a cup. And we just make it like a game. Maybe I'd hold him out and let him pick one, or maybe if he finished it all, he'd get a sticker or a treat. Of course, you want learning to be fun. You don't want it to feel like a burden or like something they dread doing. You want to make it fun and something that you can do together. And then we also have a set that talks about colors, and a set that talks about alphabet letters, and what else? This one's shapes, And this one's like a number matching game with Winnie the Pooh cards, so it's kind of cute. When I was expecting my son, when I was pregnant with him, I had a daughter who was about 2.5, and I knew when he was born that I was going to have to keep her entertained, especially when I knew I was going to be nursing frequently. So I made some of these little boxes. Back then I called them a busy box or a busy bin, and over time they kind of morphed into what I'm calling a tot school or tot box. And basically they're just preschool type activities that keep kids engaged and are educational. And so I have a Pinterest board that has a ton of different like busy bin, tot school activities on it, which I'll link below. And these are just some activities that I've had for years, but they're really fun, and my 2-year-old and my 4-year-old both enjoy playing with these bins. This is an old almond butter jar. It's plastic. My husband drilled some holes in the top, and then I have plastic straws in there, and they just dump it out, and then they can practice fine motor skills and just putting the straw into the cap. A little container of pom-poms, and I have a little homemade catapult they like to shoot things out of. You can also get like plastic tongs or tweezers, and they can practice picking things up with that. This is a color matching pom-poms in a little pill box. You know, you have to know that your own child and if they put things in their mouth. My kids are pretty good about not putting things in their mouths, but some of these things would be choking hazards. So obviously use your own discretion, but this is like a button matching activity. Okay, so I made this when I just had my daughter, when I only had one child, but I thought it was so fun. It's a table setting, and so the kids can practice putting a plate and a knife and a fork and a napkin and a cup to learn how to set the table, which I thought was really fun. And so it's just a little cloth mat. And we have like play silverware and plates and things in our playroom that they can practice learning how to set a table. You know, they don't have to cost a lot of money. A lot of these things are just stuff you have around your house that you can put together over time and then just accumulate a nice variety of toddler type activities. This one's a map of the United States, and I just talk about, you know, here's where we live and our color, our state is this color, or, you know, so-and-so lives here, or grandma lives here, you know, whatever. So that's good for like US geography. And then we also have a world map that's also from Target, and you can talk about the, you know, the different continents, and also show them, you know, this is America, this is where we live, and, you know, our friend so-and-so lives over here, and just teaching them just really basic things about geography. This is a game called Roll and Play, and it's a really fun game for preschoolers. It comes with 6 different card categories you can see here, and it talks about emotions, body parts, animal sounds, actions, colors, and counting. And so you take turns rolling this huge stuffed die, and then whatever color lands up, the person chooses a card and then does what the card says. And so it's just a fun way to practice some preschool skills while playing a game, and some of these cards are pretty hilarious, and the kids crack up when they get to play this game. My older daughter, who is 6, got this Leap pen reader from her grandparents, and it's really nice. My 4-year-old's able to use it too, as long as he's gentle, and it's nice for him to be able to even plug in some headphones and do some reading while I work with my daughter on her reading, or something that involves a little bit more one-on-one attention. And so he enjoys going through, and there's a large variety of books that are available, and he can just open it himself and use the pen to tap the word, or tap here, and it will actually read the story for him, and you can tap on the picture and the characters say different things. So it's very engaging, but also educational. For preschool, I also have a variety of educational games on my iPad. I have them divided up by alphabet letter games or math and Bible games. And so usually my son, I will let him do some of the alphabet games One that I've been using quite frequently is one called Letter Writer. And this game allows you to choose if you want your child to practice writing capital letters, lowercase numbers, or shapes, or words. We have like a stylus with a soft tip that he can use to grip and practice like early writing skills as he's tracing it, or he can use his finger. But using the stylus is great for pre-writing skills and fine motor skills, and so he likes to use that as well and just, trace the shape, and he also enjoys it because he's getting some iPad time. Usually for our family, our kids watch one movie during the morning and one movie in the evening. And so in the morning during the school week, we try to pick out an educational video. And some of those that we have are Leapfrog, Word Factory, and Letter Factory. These are great. This teaches them what the alphabet letters are and what sound they make, the short sound. And this is just talking about like rhyming words and word families, like the at family, cat, hat, bat, things like that. And it also talks a little bit about blends. Then on Groupon, I saw a Groupon for this preschool prep company, and these are very great DVDs. And this is the 10 CD set of these DVDs, and so I'd encourage you to try to find either a Groupon, or sometimes these come up on Zulily and you can get them for a really good price. You can buy them full price on their website or on Amazon. I've seen them there as well. There's several of these that I really like for preschool. They have one about colors, shapes, letters, and numbers, 0 through 10. So these are a really nice set of DVDs that I think are worth the investment because they're educational and they're interesting, and your kids will learn a lot, and you'll be surprised how much they will learn just by watching a DVD. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the importance of laying a good biblical foundation for our kids. And in preschool, you can start doing that from the time they're born, really, but in preschool, just reading children's Bibles, toddler-aged Bible storybooks. And we have this one here. It's called Big Thoughts for Little People. And I think a friend of mine recommended this to me. But on each page, it's by Kenneth Taylor. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. But each page has a letter of the alphabet. So like here, letter A, and it has the lowercase up in the corner. And then it gives a short little story that talks about what's going on in the picture. And then, together you find different objects in the picture that start with the letter A. So for instance, there's an apple, there's an airplane, an acorn, and it's reinforcing alphabet letters, but it's also laying a good biblical foundation for your kids and developing that godly character that is so important, especially from a young age. So I know that was a lot, but I hope that this gave you some good ideas for things you can use at home with your preschooler, whether you're homeschool or maybe you just are a stay-at-home mom and you have a young toddler. And thanks so much for watching, and I'd love to hear from you if you have some other things that you recommend for preschool, and hope you're having a great day. Bye.